Guys, we're back for what's probably going to be the last preseason video for Supercoach 2024. Round zero just passed. This is coming out a little bit late. This is the Wednesday. Games start on Thursday. Wanted to go through what currently is my final team, but put asterisks around final. Probably going to change it again once team lineups and stuff come out. But starting off in defense, I've had Nick Dacos like basically the whole off season, so don't really see a reason to hop off him. I've toyed around with Dacos and Sicily basically the whole off season, but with all the injuries in Hawks backline, I've kind of soured on Sicily a little bit. But Dacos, you're paying up, you're paying 650k, but you're getting a vice captain or a captain every week, right? Like I imagine he's going to stick around the 120 range in terms of an average. I'm also going to try to get through this fast. I don't want another hour video. Really aiming for like 20 to 25. So I'm going to speed through some picks. You've definitely heard all the like explanation about these picks through other videos and through other people and stuff like that. So I'm going to super speed through it. Let me see. Let me pull up the photo. All right, number 2 is Harry Sheasel. It's kind of same deal here. I don't really see him taking a step back. Of course, the issue here would be, and I've talked about this before, is if he ends up getting moved forward. Like, if their defense sucks, which I don't expect North to be like a top 8 team, if they keep getting just smashed every week, and it's guys like Sheasel, McKercher that just aren't, tackle ready, like Zach Fisher and stuff, they're not tough defenders. I could see them getting moved around the field a little bit, which would kind of kill Sheasel. But through practice matches and everything, he's playing same role he did last year. A bit less contested when it comes to getting touches because there's no Siebel, no Hall, no nothing like that. So hey, I'm all on the Sheasel hype train. Next one, G and Short. So this one actually has changed a little bit. It was Tom Stewart for a minute, which would have made him D2, but the reason why it's dropped down to Short is I think Richmond are going to stink this year. Like, respectfully, I go for the worst team in the league, but Richmond look very bad. I think that the ball is going to live in their defense. I know because I had to watch this last year. The ball will live in their defense, and their kick intakers, high disposal guys on the half back line and stuff like that are going to score crazy. Like, Hearn last year did not score that bad for someone that was his age, playing in the worst team ever, stuff like that. I think Short's not a terrible pick. The problem here is the bye. It's really the only thing that would sour me off this pick. But when you look at other guys that I can actually reach from this point, all of them have a bye. So Short, Whitfield, Powell. Houston doesn't, but I don't think I can make up the 40, 50k I'd need to go up to Houston. But even Blakey, of course, I saw the preseason score. The Swans backline looks like there's going to be a fair bit of points going back there. So, not that they're bad. It's just I think they play off that half back line pretty well. So going with Short. Next one, another one everyone's had. He's 44%. 44% versus Sheasel 47 is a bit interesting. But it's Hayden Young. Saw all I need to in the practice games and everything like that. He's a midfielder. Looks like he'll do around about 100 average, which should put him in the top 6 conversation. It's kind of like once you hit that 100, can you hit 105 to like make sure you're top 6? I think he can. I think the midfield split's pretty good. Fife is an injury waiting to happen. So there's still more time to go there in the midfield. I imagine it's going to be kind of split out at the start of the season, but once guys get hurt and roles change and things like that, I think Young will score a lot better. Next, we have Zach Williams, who I've honestly had out of my team for a while. The reason I've put him back in is because Sam Doherty's done his ACL, which sucks for him. I do like watching Doherty the last couple of years where he's kind of like been fit. He's been super fun to watch, and he's made Carlton really good. Like last year, they almost made the grand final, and I think Doherty's actually a big part of that. Not just the midfield and Cripps and everything. I think Doherty actually plays a huge role in their team. But yeah, because he's out, someone has to get the points back there. There's still so many Supercoach points that have to go out. Zach Williams has been good in the past. It's just a matter of if his body's going to hold up. I think it will, at least for long enough that you can use him for now and then trade him out later. Make your 100k, 150k, maybe even 200k. Maybe he gets to 400 before there's an injury. But yeah, I think Zach Williams will be fine. And he could average in the 90s, best case scenario. Then, I didn't even have to hop off that. D6 right now is Zach Reid. We're getting into the rookies here. There's not many amazing ones. But yeah, Zach Reid looks like he'll do all right for Essendon. Essendon are going to need help back there, especially now Ridley's gone down. All the preseason training reports and then the games. I wish Essendon played in round 0 because I wanted to see how their defensive structure was against like a full team, not a practice team. I think they're going to really struggle in the back line this year. I think everywhere else on the field is probably going to be all right. Maybe their forwards could struggle a bit because I don't think they have like a big 50-goal kicker forward, but yeah, their midfield's fine and should be able to give their forwards a fair bit of supply. Next we have Gibcus. So kind of same reason as Short here, but Gibcus looks like really their only kind of one-on-one defender to go against tall forwards, key forwards, things like that. So I think he's guaranteed a spot every week that he's fit. But yeah, so Gibcus is in. I don't expect a crazy score from him. He's probably going to be like bench most of the year. Only coming on as D6 and like buy rounds and things like that. Next, Howes. His score's not updated, but maybe it doesn't update on here. But 91 last weekend. He was pretty good, and now with Marty Hall going down, Salem probably has to move back there, which probably opens up Howes to play maybe Hall's role. I'm not too sure, because Salem obviously still wants to play in the midfield. He was pretty good there this week, even though they kind of got smashed. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit interesting to see what they're going to do, but I think Howes is an easy pick right now. Obviously, there's other guys, Caulfield, and there's a Hawks guy, Ethan Phillips, I want to say it is. They're both fine. I just think these two are better, to be honest with you. You could definitely go Caulfield if you're trying to save 30k. In the midfield, we have a guy that I've been saying not to pick, but I've just ended up with so much extra money that it makes sense to pick him, and that's Bont. I've said since Supercoach opened, paying 720k for a midfielder, he's going to drop. He will go down to like 650, 600k. Maybe not 600, but 650 definitely. So you could wait on this, but it's just how many points are you going to lose in waiting that you could just start him, right? There was a bit of an injury scare during the preseason training reports and stuff like that period. But I think he's fine. I think he's ready to go. He looked good in the practice game. Didn't have round 0, so didn't get to see him there, but it's probably for the best because then he won't have a bye. Next, LDU. Tossed between LDU and Butters. Landed on LDU for the moment, but I could definitely go back to Butters. They've taken the injury thing off him now, which is good. We'll see his ownership skyrocket again. But yeah, I might go Butters, honestly. I'm not too sure on this one. I just have more fun watching Butters versus what's going to be the stress of watching LDU week to week. Next, we have a guy that I'm not too sure if I'm actually going to keep because, again, I really don't like these round 0 buys. Currently, I have, one, two. This would be the third. Then I've got a couple of Sydney players and things like that. It's Took Miller. I think at 97, he's fairly underpriced. I think he can go definitely like what he'd need to do 107, 108 plus. Actually, it's more 110 plus. But I think he could actually do 110 plus. Rao looks amazing, or he looked amazing this weekend. But I think Took is still like the workhorse of that midfield engine room. And it's just going to... If he pumps out 116s every week, then you'll take that. Yeah. I'm not too sure if he's top 8, but he could be like top 10 to 12 midfielder, who for a fairly big discount, you're looking at 100k on some of these guys. I'll take that, right? Like, I'll take that. Next, Nick Martin. So as soon as it came out, he's getting the halfback role. Easy in, right? I like watching Nick Martin last season. I thought he was super fun to watch and one of the best young players in the league. And now he's got like the best role in football. So easy pick for me, right? Like, I haven't even got to think about it. This is another one. It's kind of like Sheasel. If they get smashed in the back line and say Nick Martin just has a couple of bad games where it's like unforced turnovers and things like that, could he get moved? Possibly, but it's kind of like a react then instead of like kind of try to predict all this type of stuff. And next we have Matt Crouch. Been on and off this pick as well, not like entirely locked into this idea. Honestly, I'm thinking Wines might be the safer pick at 30k cheaper. He's done it before. I guess Crouch has done it before, but I don't know. I feel a bit safer with Wines, oddly enough. But with Crouch, he looked good last year in the handful of games he played. I think he could push 550 to 600k. I really don't know if he's going to be top 8, which at basically 500k, I think I'd want someone that's a bit closer to being insured top 8. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to keep Matt Crouch. I think that might become Wines, who's 460k. He looks like he's playing midfield, like full midfield, back to the role he was playing in his Brownlow season, which, look, should he have been the Brownlow medalist? I say that's the worst one I've ever seen, but hey, he won it, so it's whatever. McKercher, these ones are easy lock-in. McKercher, Sanders. I actually think Sanders is going to be the best rookie this year. But yeah, I don't see it being Harley Reid, by the way, at all. And then on the bench, right now I have Hustwaite. Gonna take a while for me to get used to saying that. It's just terrible with my lisp. Hawks need some firepower in that midfield. Hopefully Hustwaite is the guy. They've got Will Day to go through there, Warple to go through there, the C-Mac, Connor McDonald, Cam McKenzie, Jai Newcomb. They've got a lot of guys to run through there. We'll see if Hustwaite keeps his spot. If not, this just goes down to Sharp. It's pretty simple. Who I've actually taken Sharp out of the team right now. I've put in Jack Carroll just because he looked good playing for Carlton. That's it. Looks good. Can't imagine he loses his spot after having a pretty good game. Next, Jai Clark, who's basically guaranteed a spot because Geelong is in contention for the worst midfield in the league. I think pretty easily. Of course, they're going to be competing with West Coast, but if Harley Reid does pop off, I think he will carry West Coast to having a better midfield than Geelong. But, that's my 2 cents. I think Geelong is going to be closer to bottom 4 than top 8 this year. So in the rucks, we've got everyone's favourite, Gawn and Grundy. So Grundy's round 0 performance really made me like, okay, I can pick him. He's still got it up here, even if his body's going to fail him a little bit. He was just so smart in the ways he'd beat Gawn, kind of just being more athletic, like beating him to the drop of the ball which is kind of like a cliche you hear from commentators and stuff, but he actually did it, and it was visual to see, right? Yeah, great, like a really, really good game from him. And then I guess on Gorn, lower score, but he still looked like Max Gorn. It just looked like the midfield battle was kind of uneven towards Sydney. Once Oliver gets fit, Gorn gets to move around the field a lot more. Petrarca gets, like, his forward midfield kind of dynamic going. I think Gorn is absolutely fine, right? Absolutely fine. Wish he could kick better, though. Next, Naismith. If he gets a game, or if he gets named this week, start him 100%. Just start him. Don't be stupid. If not, I'm probably going to go with Livingstone, however you pronounce it. He sucked in the practice game, but he didn't play long. I think he only played like the fourth. I imagine he gets forced minutes just because Matt Flynn's gone down. That's like 4 weeks or something like that, 4 to 5 weeks. But that happened a couple of weeks ago now, so maybe it's only 3 to 4. If he gets some games, sure, but I don't know. I don't like the pick. I think he's still got some time in the system to develop. So I'm hoping Naismith gets named. Because then, even when Nank does come back, the injury he's got, which is the plantar whatever it is, plantar fascia, something like that, is a recurring injury. Like in basketball, athletes get that all the time. So could see Nank missing more games past this. Onto the forward line, and god damn, I've done it. Isaac Heaney F1. So it's not just fallen for the big preseason score. It's fallen for, he had a lot of CBAs. I don't have the exact number. I wonder if I can find it. We go here. Bounce. Sydney. What did he have? Had 58%. If he can stay above 55, easy pick for me. Even Gordon at 54, that probably drops off. Could see Jordan's maybe going up, maybe hitting the 30 range. But yeah, if Heaney kind of sticks around that number of in the 50s, 55 plus is where I want to see it. It's going to be a good pick. I don't need him to keep it up all season. If this pick kind of, Horse does his thing, I'm going Heaney to Flanders off Flanders' bye. So, that's why I'm fine with doing this, is because there's an easy out. If there was no out, or if your out was Luke Jackson, who's 100k more, well, not exactly, but Heaney's got a 4, Jackson's got a 5, right? I don't know. I don't think I'd do it if Jackson was your plan. In saying that, I've toyed around with Luke Jackson F1. I just find I have to cut too much money everywhere else, so kind of stopped using that for now. And then Zach Fisher, North Melbourne halfback. Hopefully he scores good. Could see, he did have a couple of bad decisions, bad decision-making moments in the practice game. Hopefully that doesn't continue, because that will kill his score, especially in Supercoach, which is so efficiency-based. But I think he'll be fine. Next, Fife, who I did call an injury waiting to happen. I'm just hoping he gets, again, 9 games. Just get through a couple of games, make a bit of money. Then I can just sideways you to whoever's playing good, even if it's downing 5 to a rookie to get someone else up. Next one, James Jordan. I saw everything I need to see. He had the first quarter, played the completely wrong role. Was playing oh boy. Haven't had to talk like this for 2 weeks. I'm editing that out. Jordan was playing half forward, had to come down into weird midfield, kind of stay forward. It was terrible that first quarter. Just bad game planning from Longmuir. I think Longmire is the Frio one. Longmuir, whatever, Horse. And then he finally started playing his outside wing role, which he's played basically his whole career at the moment. So, yeah, he's fine. I could see him averaging like 85-ish, which is really all that we need. Next, Harley Reid, number 1 pick, looks fine. People overreacting to that first game. It was his first game, so he looked better in the second one. That's why you pick him. Alex Sexton, halfback. Dimmer's pretty good with his halfbacks. Like, they score pretty well. And Sexton just looks like he's kind of made for that, so I'll take it. And then Darcy Wilson and Cadman. So with Darcy Wilson, haven't actually seen any footage of him, but going off what everyone's saying, he looks fine. Looks like very good rookie. I don't know about the fieldability scores. I think I've just made up a word. How like viable his scores are to field, but you know, if he can give you a couple, like, you know, in this forward line, Heaney has a bye, Jordan has a bye, Sexton has a bye, Cadman has a bye. If Wilson can give you a good score in one of them, then he's basically worth it at a rookie price. The midfield got Tuke Miller and Matt Roberts on buys, so I need Hustwaite to give me a good score, and I need Jai Clark to give me a good score. Carroll, I think, will kind of be in and out all year, but make money slowly. In defense, it's Dacos short Gibkiss. Now I'm seeing that, I don't know if I want short. Howes can probably cover short or Dacos 1 week, but man, that's gonna suck, isn't it? You know what? Give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can rework this team. All right, so revising it a little bit, I have done a little bit of changes. I did go down to Wines. I took Tuke out, just to have one less buy in the midfield. I think in the midfield, if you kind of avoid round 0, you still get very good players. And I also did go Aldiu to Butters. I just feel safer with Butters. It's, you know, hard to kind of explain, but Butters is just more fun to watch. It does make me a little light here. Like, these 3 here, that's pretty light, but Martin could be a defender, like, by round 6. I think it's a 6 or 7. I can't remember what the DPP's at, 6 or 7. He could get defender. He just slides in there. Crouch and Wines are here. By then, maybe one of these guys can go up. See what we've got going. But also brought in Stewart for short. Yeah, like, I don't really want to have so many buys because you've got Dacos, Williams, and Gibkiss. It's just a bit weird to have 4. I'd rather 3. 3's doable. 3's coverable. But yeah, I'll see you all after round 1, I guess, because unless Friday, maybe Friday. I'm going to that game Thursday night. Been going to it for a couple of years now. But yeah, let me know who you guys are starting. What are the big picks that you guys have got that I don't have? I know one big one is Charlie Lazaro. I just haven't seen enough of him. And it's one of those, like, if I haven't got the game film on it, I'm not changing my team to add someone in last minute. So, see you all next time. Best of luck for Supercoach 2024.